So what do you think puts friends up at top?
I feel like it might be the fact that like friends and social life is incorporated in a lot of places that Americans go to, work, school. Like I can say I don't engage with friends, but I mean, I can name multiple in the class right now. I can name multiple at work, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's like, we don't even realize how often we are interacting with friends or people that we consider friends every single day. Like you tend to value them more because it creates like the support system that I was talking about earlier. Like friends and family, I've always thought the US puts in the same category.
I agree with that, like completely. Like my friends like are my family. Like my friends, like I consider them like my fun time. Like that would be like when I get like leisure or anything, like I hang out with my friends like all the time.
Got you. So friends and it's like friends and family. And I think those of us who researched this kind of issue, I think we would say that those two kind of get combined in the West, especially here in the U.S.
So there's an old saying that blood is thicker than water. Family is more close than any friends. So in Korea, we consume those cultures like betraying others in media. I think that's the one problem that people think it is possible just to betray your friends. And I think that's the problem.
I still value the friends most. The Eastern world, the Eastern countries like China, Japan, Korean, North Korea, South Korea, very value their personal development. Maybe if I go into a higher or better high school, my primary school best friend are not be accepted by a high school. Maybe we will lost the common thing. We will lost the topic, and that make us don't talk anymore and don't be the close to friends.
People that prioritize work, like work gives me meaning in life. Do you think on average they're poorer people or wealthier people?
I mean, I think it just depends. Like you could be the richest person in the world and work every second of the day, and you can be like super poor and like still have to like work really hard just to like keep yourself like the roof over your head. Like it honestly just depends on like what job or like occupation you have.
So what's interesting is that, you know, life is, we tend to prioritize the things or put value in the things that give us the meaning in the ways that we need to have meaning, right? So people with more money oftentimes put a lot of value into work because they're getting a lot of value from that work. And people with less money, you know, if your work is less likely to give you the greatest amount of stability, but other things around you like family and friends and your health really matters, all those other things, people will tend to put energy into those other things and not the work itself. So when we ask about romantic partners, Koreans are the least likely to even mention romantic partners as having being of any importance whatsoever. Do you have any thought about that?
Because like most of us, there's no time to be romantic.
Yeah, no time to be romantic? Oh my God. All right. Where do you think China would be on this issue of romantic partners, Chuzi?
The Chinese thing are really similar to the Korean, and especially the feminists are really popular recent years. But for me, I really value it. Probably you can see the ring on my finger. Yeah, and
Wait, what's the ring? Are you married?
Yes, but in the States.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have a wife?
Yes.
Dude, see that? Hang on. Hang on. Can you get a close up? It's a real ring. Yeah. What do you think about the fact that he's married?
I mean, we were both kind of shocked. Like I was literally talking with my friends about this today. I was like, I don't want to get married for like another like 8 years, like 6 years. Like I'm in no rush to get married. So hearing that you're married, like how old are you?
22.
Okay, so I'm 20. Like that's insane to me.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, my question is actually about today. I thought it was really interesting how you said like you don't have this tradition of inviting people over to your house. So how do you usually like socialize in your home countries?
Parties. Yeah,
Okay.
parties.
Yeah? Parties were not in your house.
sometimes in our house, sometimes maybe in the karaoke or the bar, pub.
So there are lots of restaurants that are aimed for those relationships in Korea. So we go to those places.
So you go meet all your friends and stuff in restaurants. Uh-huh.
You said like your family is really important to you, but like what about the distant family? You know, like first cousins, second cousins, are they equally important to you, like your family, or are your friends closer to you?
For families, I think just parents, cousins, grandparents. Yeah, I think it could be defined as a core family.
So everybody. And the thing about the Chinese, the one-child rule in China meant that the large extended families that you would see somewhere in Mexico or even in the U.S., it's like so much smaller because everyone's just having one child. And so you don't have that massive.
I know with like getting married young, like what do your parents think about that?
Our parents actually don't know. So
Dude. Oh my God. Well, luckily YouTube.
you know the startup people always do the disruptive things.
Yeah, they do. You're right. And luckily YouTube is like you got to have a VPN to watch YouTube in China, right? So your parents aren't going to be watching YouTube, so they're not going to see it. They won't know.
So my question is, what are some of the Western values that you wish you had more of in Asia?
So, like in US, like teenagers above 17 or so, I believe they're kicked out of their house. But in Korea, you tend to live in your parents' house until like 20s, or maybe some of them late 20s.
So in Oman and many countries in the Middle East, you can stay at your parents' house for as long as you want, or until even after marriage, until you're financially settled and you know what you want to do in your future.
And if you do that, like if you stay home till you're 30, let's say you go back and you stay with your parents, are you seen as how are you seen?
You're not seen like as a failure or an outcast. It's something understandable, like as far as still right now, you know. Yeah.
So parents would be, so many parents, obviously every parent is different.
Yeah.
And you could be an annoying son or like a cool son, but parents by and large would support that.
Yeah, it's like sort of a welfare system where the parents like want the best for their children, because if you're getting kicked out or you leave the house by 18 with no financial means and everything, you're going to struggle. But what parents want, like in the Middle East at least, they don't want their children to struggle.
I've heard there's this like concept within friendships that if someone's like a year older than you, like you have to refer to them with like specific, I guess like suffixes or like certain things attached to their name. And then like specifically with like drinking culture, like you have to turn away when you drink something. I didn't know if that was like accurate, and also like how that changes the dynamic of your friendships, and if that has any effect on how you value friendships.
In Korea, you don't get friends with older brother or like younger brothers, because
It's not common. So who you're in school with really matters. So when you go above or you go below, then that really,
you cannot be friends.
yeah, it's uncommon. Yeah.
It can't always apply this to all those populations. It's really like the old generation things.
Yeah. I got you. Whereas for the two of you, that wouldn't be anything at all. Like you wouldn't even think about that.
My question is for you two. How does it feel being in America, where typically in America, when there's stereotypes, they're looked down upon, but you guys as international students, your stereotypes are often, I guess, sought after or fetishized. Like, you know, you come here and everyone's like, oh my God, like you're from Korea, like we love Korean dramas, or you're from China, you're like, well, everyone there is smart. Like, how does it feel to be here in America and have those stereotypes kind of like aid in your success?
Actually, there was a fun fact from my math class. Like, everybody wants to be my deskmate because they think my math is good. And actually, I enjoy this kind of stereotype. Yeah. For other stereotype, I think it could be changed. Because you know, things is always change, especially We are all people. We are all ordinary peoples. You can't just use a label or a hashtag to define a really large population of people.